Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Esther, I'm the founder of FLATZ Relocation and Let's Get Friends Expert Services. If you are watching this video, it probably means that you've been successful in scheduling a viewing for an apartment. This is a very significant step in the process. So in today's video, we are going to talk about how you can make the most of this viewing and make an actual informed decision about the property you will be visiting. We are going to talk about questions you will need to ask, things to look out for during the viewing, and also I will teach you some vocabulary so you will be a pro at visiting a property. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe so you won't miss any other videos about relocating to France and finding apartments. Now let's look at the things you will need to be mindful of and the questions you should ask during an apartment viewing. First and foremost, you have to know that in France, you can only view a property once. Most probably no agency or landlord will allow you a second viewing, as they will probably find their next tenant during the first session of viewings. This means that you will really have to make the most of your unique and first viewing of the apartment. Even before doing the viewing, I strongly encourage you to arrive early or do it after the viewing to explore a little bit the area. Walk a little bit around, see how you like the vibes of the area, how much entertainment, restaurants, bars there are, how far the public transportation is, and generally just imagine yourself living in this area and how would you like it. Now let's focus on the viewing itself. So there is a very important question to ask, and this is one of the first questions that I ask when I organize a viewing for one of my clients, is what's included in the building charges, is to understand whether the apartment has a general heating or an individual heating. This might seem like a small thing to ask, but it can actually make a huge difference. If the heating and the hot water is included in the charges, this means that you can save a significant amount of money monthly and that you won't have to pay extra for heating and hot water. If it's individual, I encourage you to ask the agent how much the previous tenant paid monthly approximately, so this can give you an idea of how much extra you will have to pay monthly on the top of your rent. The second question is also very, very important because this can be very annoying and also very dangerous for your health if it's a serious issue. You should always check for humidity in the apartment that you are viewing. You can also ask the agent whether there is a problem of humidity at the apartment. I only advise you to be on the lookout for small signs of humidity, small black spots that you can mostly find in the bathroom, toilet, or in the kitchen, but sometimes also in the bedroom and other rooms of the apartment. This is a very important thing to check when visiting an apartment. So this can also seem like a small thing to check, but you should always ask whether there is a washing machine. This is a very important thing because if you want to be comfortable at your own home and avoid going to the laundry, I think it's way better to have a washing machine at the apartment. Inquire whether the windows are double glazed. This can be important for insulation, for heat, and of course, sound. Ask if there is a cellar included in the price. This can be very useful for storage. People often forget to ask the orientation of the apartment. Light is very, very, very important, so you want to make sure that you like the orientation of the apartment. Ask the agent, they should know, or simply check with your phone. Now, let's see my tips for a successful apartment viewing. Make sure you arrive on time. In France, the agents will give you between 5 to 10 minutes to view an apartment. If you arrive late, you will probably miss that time slot and simply miss out on the apartment, which would be a shame just because you weren't on time. The final decision is not the agents, but they have a strong influence on which tenant the owner will choose. You will want to make sure to put your best foot forward and present a clean look overall when viewing an apartment. My last but very, very important tips that many forget when viewing an apartment: make sure to take photos and videos of the apartment. However, you should always ask the agent or the landlord if you can do so, because sometimes the personal things and items of the current tenants are still at the apartment. But you really want to make sure to take these photos and videos, because sometimes we think that we will remember all those details that we've seen during a viewing, but it's Unfortunately not true. You will be really glad to have those photos to recall those small details and maybe plan out how to put your furniture if you are chosen for the apartment. Now let's see some absolutely necessary vocabulary when viewing an apartment. How to ask all these questions that I've been talking about in this video. Now let's see. Qu'est-ce qui est inclus dans les charges? What's included in the building charges? Le chauffage et l'eau chaude sont collectifs ou individuels? Is there a general heating or is it individual? Y a-t-il un problème d'humidité? Is there a problem with humidity in the apartment? Est-ce que c'est du double vitrage ou du simple vitrage? Are the windows double-glazed? Y a-t-il un branchement pour la machine à laver ou y a une machine à laver? Quelle est l'orientation de l'appartement? What's the orientation of the apartment? With this vocabulary and these tips, I'm sure you will make the most out of your apartment viewing and you will be able to make an actual informed decision about the property you will be visiting. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment if you have any further questions about relocating to France or renting an apartment. And I will see you next week. Au revoir!